Guess what? We get to congratulate another person for saying all 66 books of the Bible. Today, it's Callie Crutchfield. Way to go, Callie. Great job. Hi, boys and girls. Today, we are going to learn about the Prophet Elisha from the book of 2 Kings in the Old Testament Bible. Remember, Elisha was appointed by Elijah before Elijah went up in the chariot to heaven.
Old Elijah was a prophet, serving God so very faithfully. When his life on earth was over, God took him, as we shall see. God took him up to heaven, fiery chariot, and the horses came in a great big whirlwind. Oh, praise Jehovah's mighty name. Elisha was walking with Elijah, would not leave him as they went along. He loved his friend very dearly and would never do him wrong. God took him up to heaven, fiery chariot, and the horses came in a great big whirlwind. Oh, praise Jehovah's mighty name. When Elijah started to ascend, he threw his cloak upon the ground. Elisha knew that he would be blessed. God's spirit then in him was found. God took him up to heaven, fiery chariot, and the horses came in a great big whirlwind. Oh, praise Jehovah's mighty name.
When Elijah took over as the new prophet for God, his first miracle was done with water. This water miracle he did was performed at the Jordan River. Elisha slapped Elijah's cloak down and the water parted for him, so he could walk across without getting his feet wet. A few days later, a crowd of young men who were all learning how to be prophets came to see Elisha. "We're thirsty," they complained. "We found a good place to live, but the water tastes horrible and it is making the farming land unproductive." Elisha knew what to do. First he prayed, then he told the young men to get a jar. "It has to be a brand new jar," Elisha insisted, "and I want you to put salt in it." Elisha tipped the salt out into the polluted spring water. "This is what the Lord says," announced Elisha. "I have healed these waters. They will be fresh and good for drinking. Never again will this water cause death or make the land unproductive." And guess what? The water not only became pure, but stayed pure.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to do a science project. Can you go get me the new jar?
Sure.
Now, can you go grab the salt?
Yes. What are you going to do with this?
I'm going to try to make the water taste good like Elisha. Can you pour the salt in?
Sure. How does it taste?
Awful!
You're my brother, not Elijah.
Elisha helped many people. Do you remember how Elijah helped a poor widow with oil and flour? Well, Elisha did a similar thing with a widow with oil. A poor lady who was sad because her husband had died and owed a man lots of money, went to see Elisha, the man of God, for help. Elisha asked, "What do you have in your house?" "Only a jar with a little cooking oil," replied the lady. "Borrow as many empty containers as you can. "Fill them with oil from your jar," Elisha told her. The lady was surprised. She didn't have that much cooking oil in her jar, but she did as the man of God said. The boys borrowed lots of empty pots and bowls. They went inside the house and shut the door. They filled one jar full, then the next. The oil in the jar just kept pouring out until every single jar was full. She sold the cooking oil at the market and gave all the bowls and jars back to her neighbors. Then she paid all the money her husband had owed. Wow, she was able to pay all the money that she owed. I wonder if she would have done that if she had only borrowed one jar. How many jars would you have borrowed? Our last story today is probably the most well-known story about Elisha when he healed a man that had leprosy. The story from the Bible is about a little servant girl who told her master about God. Wherever you are, you can tell the good news about God's love. Naaman was in charge of the army of Syria and was a very important man, but he had leprosy sores on his skin, which not even the best doctor could fix. Naaman's little servant girl said to her mistress, "If only my master Naaman would go and see Elisha, the man of God in Samaria, then God would make him get well again." When Naaman heard that there was someone who could make him better, he decided to go and find the man of God, even though Naaman didn't know God for himself. When he knocked on Elisha's door, only a servant came out with a message. Elisha said, "You must go and wash 7 times in the river Jordan." Naaman was annoyed because Elisha didn't come out and talk to him. "We have cleaner rivers in my country," he said. "Why can't I wash in them to cure my leprosy?" But he decided to do what the man of God said. After washing 7 times in the river Jordan, the leprosy disappeared and his skin was clean, just like a baby's. Naaman knew that God had healed him.
This is a chant, and I will say something, and then you will say either "oh no" or "oh yes," like my helpers here. Naaman had a bad disease.
Oh no!
He had leprosy.
Oh no!
Couldn't lead his army.
Oh no!
What could Naaman do? Naaman had a servant girl.
Oh yes!
She knew the answer.
Oh yes!
Call for the prophet.
Oh yes!
Elisha said, "Okay, dip in the Jordan."
Oh
Oh
no!
no.
The dirty, smelly Jordan?
Oh no.
Can I use a different one?
Oh
Oh
no!
Naaman said, "Okay." He went to the Jordan.
Oh
yes!
He dipped 7 times.
Oh yes!
Naaman was cured.
Oh yes!
No more leprosy.
Yay!
Today we learned about 3 miracles that Elisha performed, but he did many more. He did ones like the head of an axe floating. He brought a little boy back to life. He kept stew from being poisoned. He predicted a siege and a famine. Elisha was an amazing prophet of God.